Good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a company's most valuable asset. Well, you know, whether you like it or not, no company can run itself. Each company in the world needs people to run it. So it goes without saying that there is a statement which is fundamental to business success. And that statement says, people are the engine of performance. They are the heartbeat of a company that's making money. Innovation and resilience are characteristics in people, not machines. Discover how to attract, retain, and develop top talent is the only way you'll be able to drive your business and drive profitability. Every business wants to be successful. Am I right? Suiko, can you wave your hand? Every business wants to be successful. And to be successful, people are your most important, they're your most valuable asset. There is no if, but, or maybe about it, guys. Without people, your business will fail. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you why people are a company's most valuable asset. Can you see my slide, Suiko? Yes? Can you see my slide? Can you see my slide, Suiko? Can you wave your hand? Very good. So people, why are they a company's most valuable asset? What today's workforce wants and how it's changing, because the people who go to work today have a different mindset to people that went to work in the last decade or in the last 10 years. We're going to talk about proven strategies on how you can attract and retain the people that work for you. And we're going to talk about how you can bring together a high performing team that is focused on profitability and success. So let's start, guys, by saying or is
Okay,
asking the
here the
question.
slide not moving.
I'm sorry.
This device slide not moving.
All right, let me share again. Can you see it now? Can you see it now? Thank you. All right. So if the slide doesn't show, guys, please let me know, but I'm sharing it on both screens. So let's talk about the shifting business landscape, everybody. As you know, COVID-19 came, COVID-19 finished. COVID-19 caused a lesson in life that many companies weren't expecting. Because during COVID-19, there was a lockdown. During COVID-19, people couldn't go to work. During COVID-19, companies that didn't have websites and e-commerce failed. And companies who had understanding of artificial intelligence were able to surpass all the others. So today, artificial intelligence plays a major role in many industries. And this has an impact on the type of people that you hire to work within your organization. We talk about hybrid, distributed work as a norm. What do we mean by hybrid work? Hybrid work is when you allow people to work from home online. Today, people need skills to work that they didn't have many years ago. People without IT skills today can hardly find a job in an office. Whether you want to be a salesperson, whether you want to be an office clerk, to work today in any business, basic IT skills are a core fundamental. Rising expectations for purpose of well-being. Today, more than ever, more people are demanding the right to work from home because during COVID-19, they worked from home. So now workers around the world are saying, why can't I continue working from home? The real reason why they can't continue is because Productivity for people who work from home is not as high as productivity of people who come to the office every day. So some would argue the level of productivity is the same. It's not, because home is a home atmosphere. It's more conducive and they seem to be more lethargic at home. Whereby when they're in their office, they are psychologically more prepared to put more effort in because they're in the office. So today, companies have to invest in learning for their people, making sure their people are equipped for artificial intelligence, making sure their people are equipped for using IT to its maximum. You need to prepare people on dealing with fast turnover. Your people need to be able to work efficiently and flexibly. So the whole culture of today's workforce has changed. Okay, so the next slide, your advantage isn't just what you build. Okay, so let's talk about this. Today, it doesn't matter what you have, because no matter how great your product is, no matter how cheap your product is, no matter how good your mee goreng you sell, or your laksa, or anything that you sell in your little restaurant, no matter how good it is, unless you have a friendly team to serve your customers, unless you have a face to your brand, you will fail. So, what makes people the most important element of a business today? It says your advantage isn't just what you build, it's who builds it for you. So the people who work your business are the front of your business. The waitresses who serve the food are the front of the food. They are the smile that motivates someone to order their food. If they've got tattoos or earrings, or they smell, they haven't showered, that would stop people from ordering the food. But without waitresses, without waiters, without the face that makes the business turn, you will fail. Many academics say that if you focus on your people, your cash register will keep on filling with money. But if you only focus on money and forget your people, the cash register will stop clicking. And that's a reality. That is a serious reality. Go to a supermarket, everyone. You go to the cashier smiles. She checks your groceries and you pay the cashier and walk away. People still expect a cashier at a supermarket. The reality is, if a supermarket doesn't have real cashiers, the number of customers who shop there goes down, because many people in today's economy don't know how to use self-checkout. I hate self-checkout. I know how to use it, but I prefer to see the smile of a cashier that has a conversation with me when she packs my groceries. So it's one about your people, the face of your business. It's about your managers and supervisors, who are basically the people that ensure your most valuable asset stays with you and is able to model these people. So people decisions are not just human resources clerk or the human resources department. They are the responsibility of the business owner and the managers in the business as a whole. Some people will tell you that it's not my responsibility to make sure that my employees are happy. HR's job. No. HR recruit people. They orient orientate people. They find them buddies and put them into the business model. But whose responsibility is it to keep your people power in the business? It's about the business itself. There has to be a philosophy where everybody focuses, number one, on its people, number two, on the cash register. So mastering or understanding and accepting that people are your most powerful tool is the only way you will have an advantage over your competitor. What are we going to cover today? We're going to learn why people are your greatest asset. We're going to understand certain things about your workforce that are important to them, and we call those EVP. We're going to learn how to attract top talent. We're going to learn how to retain the people who work for us. We're going to learn how to build a high performance team, to foster a winning, inclusive culture where every employee feels empowered to work for you. And I'm going to give you an action plan to put in place if you're running a business. So, does everybody here understand that people are your most valuable asset? Can everybody put up their hand if they understand that? Okay, who have we got? Geran, you understand it? Okay, what about over here? Who understands this? Come on, Tay Lee, do you understand this? Emily, you need to look at the camera. Angela, you need to look at the camera. Marika, you're not looking at the camera. If I don't see you on camera, you'll be marked absent. Danilin, do you understand that people are your most valuable asset? Yes or no? Very good. Excellent. Marisar, do you understand that? Put your hand up, Marisar. Very good, Marisar. So people are your most valuable asset. Thank you, Nicole Gabut. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jaran. Okay, Angela Zabala, I can't see you on camera. You better show me you're here, otherwise you'll be marked absent. Okay, so people are the driving force of any business. Okay, so let's talk about how this happens. Let's talk about the human capital paradigm shift. Why has the way we employ people, why has the benefits we give people changed? Why? Can anybody tell me why? It's very simple, because the worker of today is not the same as the worker that worked when your parents were your age. It's no longer just hiring people based on how much you pay them to lower your salary cost. It's about hiring the right people in order to drive innovation and customer service in your business. You need to make sure that you hire the right people with the right skills and reward them so they feel empowered to do the job. Today, more than ever, people's performance is reflective on how motivated they are. Leaders have to make sure they're able to do three things. They're able to balance the amount of pressure and tension they cause employees. They have to be able to manage employees from different cultures, and they have to be able to create a team that integrates and works together. If your team fails, it means you do not have the recipe for success. I think Danilin is cooking. Danilin will tell you that if she doesn't put enough salt and pepper in the food, no one will eat it. It tastes bad. Right, Danilin? If you don't put salt and pepper, very good, Danilin, the food tastes bad. It's the same as the people who work for you. If you don't employ the right people with the right talent and invest in training them, your business will fail. Okay, can everybody see my slide? People versus other assets. Can you see my slide, Miss Medina? Yes or no?
Yeah, Oli.
Yes? Thank you. All right, so let's look at this. Based on evidence today, people versus other assets, 23% say that higher profitability for organizations with highly engaged teams. So if your team is rewarded, you have the right chemistry of people who are motivated, you will generate 23% more profits or sales than your competitors. 43% of companies say lower turnover rates in companies with strong positive workforce cultures. So, what we're saying is that 43% of companies that were surveyed said the lower your turnover, the more powerful your team becomes. And why were these 43% of companies able to keep their turnover low? Is because they were able to motivate their people and engage them. 4 times higher revenue growth for organizations that continuously motivate their staff and empower their staff to feel important. What do I mean by empowering someone? For example, if Taylor Lee works for me as restaurant manager, I need to empower her to deal with customer complaints based on the company's standard operating procedure. If you ask your mother to cook fried rice for you, you must trust her and not tell her how to cook fried rice. And that means you're empowering her to use her knowledge to cook the best fried rice she can. All right, so remember, guys, 3 things that businesses need. They need equipment, they need product, they need technology, and the most important thing they need is human capital. For without human capital, Apple would have failed. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep telling you time after time, Steve Jobs said the most important people at Apple were the people that he employed to do the job. Steve Jobs never told his engineers what to do. He paid the highest salary to the best qualified engineers. He told them what products they had to develop and gave them a guideline or a target to achieve what he wanted. But he did not teach them how to do it because he said, when I employ an expert, I have to rely on what they know. Steve Jobs had humility. He said, I'm good at running a business. I have the ideas to take this company to $1 trillion company, but I need a team of experts, engineers, software developers, technicians to make my dream of the iPhone a reality. And that's what he did. Okay, so if we go on and talk about this, let's look at people-powered industries in today's economy. They are service industries, okay, faster resolutions, significantly higher rates of customer satisfaction, retail sector, okay, where staff are able to deliver higher levels of service, staff are empowered to deliver the right level of customer service and are rewarded accordingly. Therefore, the turnover is lowered. You don't need to employ and train new people. Productivity is higher. The morale is higher. And it comes down to a common statement that everybody here should know: clarity, capability building, and empowering trust in your employees gives them a sense of confidence for them to feel empowered to work harder for your business. The next one is the manufacturing industry. All right, so if we look at Kaizen and the Kaizen theory about managing people, Kaizen once said that continuous development of your people and continuous intervention is the key to your success. Now, Kaizen is focused on minimizing defects in the workplace and ensuring that you are able to deliver a quality product or service. So, no matter whether you talk about the service industry, the retail industry, or the manufacturing industry, you need to have people who are motivated and feel that you empower them with trust so they feel empowered to work and enjoy what they're doing. Because empowerment delivers a sense of security to the people who work for you. Does everybody understand this, guys? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Very good. Let's keep going. All right. So here we say that annual salary costs to replace an existing employee is heavily dependent on the role complexity. Okay. So what we're saying is if you pay lower salaries, then the level of motivation for your workers to produce more effectively and be more productive has gone. So usually lost productivity is hidden. Employees don't know why the people who work in their company cannot generate or be faster in doing their job. And the reason for this is usually because those people don't feel empowered, they're not motivated, or the salary you're paying them is not reflective of what they should be paid in your industry. Let's look at 6 to 9 months. The average time for new hires to reach full productivity and fit into your team should not be more than 6 to 9 months. In actual fact, as a HR expert, I will tell you that if a member of your team hasn't completely integrated in the first 3 months, then that person doesn't feel empowered and they are not motivated to work for you. And that means you have failed them as a manager. More errors, safety breaches, and accidents at work will take away and lower staff morale and motivation. Now, if you have a company that doesn't care about safety or does not reward staff based on performance, you will have a higher rate of turnover. What do I mean by turnover? Medina knows. Turnover means losing our experienced person and having to go through the trouble of recruiting another and getting them up to the standard that the company requires. Would you agree with me, Medina? We see that every day, right? Okay, so empowerment and building a sense of motivation in your people is the responsibility of you as a business leader. Let me ask you a simple question hypothetically. Hypothetically, Miss Medina is my boss here today because she is in charge of this session. Now hold on. She's happy. She enjoys being here. Why does she enjoy being here? Because she's an important part of the team who I empower to administer the session for me so I can be a more effective trainer. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Medina understands that. She does this nearly every week, week after week. She knows most of you by name because she sees you here week after week. And she says to me, "Hey, Wally, this student's not here this week. Why?" That's her job because she feels empowered to do the best job for our students. And that's you. Does everybody understand what I mean by empowerment? Can you put up your hands? Come on, guys. I need you to participate. Selma, I'd appreciate if you switched off your camera and became participative and engaged. Please, Selma, I want you to learn, gorgeous. Noor, Aini, do you understand what I said, Noor? Thank you, Noor. What about you, Jiran? Do you understand what I said, Jiran? Good. Very good, Jiran. Okay, guys. What about you, Abigail? Do you understand what I've said today, Abigail? Great. Let's take it to the next supposition or the next assumption or the next hypothesis, Tay Lee Sin. Let's talk about you getting married. All right? Anybody here getting married soon? Come on, don't tell me you're all married. Are you married, Jenny Rose? Well, one day you're going to get married, right, Jenny Rose? One day in the future, hopefully, right? We pray. Because I know you're beautiful, and one day there's a man that's going to fall in love with you, and you're going to fall in love with him. So, Jenny Rose, let me ask you, the first step is you meet your future boyfriend, you date him, and you fall in love. Then one day he's going to propose to you, right? But hold on. Before you marry him, there's one more other group that you have to understand. Who are they? His parents, your mother-in-law and father-in-law, right? Because if you find them impossible to talk to, you're not going to want to marry into that family. Would I be right, Jenny Rose? Yes or no? So it's the same. When you find a boyfriend and want to marry him, he has to fit in. He has to feel empowered to think the way you think. So his parents will think the way you think and he thinks. Do we all understand this? Yes or no? Let me give you an example. Before my father died, after I got married, he attended my wedding. But he did not approve of the fact that I married and wanted to live overseas. He wanted me to go back to Australia and take over his company, and I was not prepared to do that. I sacrificed my future in Australia because I fell in love and married a beautiful young lady in Singapore. Now, listen carefully. As a result of that, me and my father did not speak for 15 years. We did not have a word to each other for 15 years. The only time I spoke to him is 16 years later when I was told he was in hospital and had 2 or 3 days to live. Did I regret that? Hell yeah. But it's not because of me. It's because he failed to actually believe in me being able to be successful on my own. He did not empower me to be successful. He gave up on me. And that's the same when you give up on your employees. Does everybody understand that? Could you put up your hands, please? Come on, Jenny. Come on, Leah. Hand up, Leah. Danilin, do you understand what I'm saying? Danilin, look at the camera, gorgeous. Okay, do you understand? Nan Nan Lei? What about you, Marika? Do you understand what I've just said, Miss Marika, with your beautiful lipstick today, Marika? Do you understand, Marika? Wave your hand at me. Very good. Okay, guys. So what we've covered so far is that empowerment and getting people to believe in you, getting people to fit into your organization's culture, and making sure that their safety is your primary concern will lower your turnover. Because the more people that run away from working from you, you have to hire a replacement. There's a cost. You have to train them. There's a cost. Then they're under probation. If they fail, you have to hire someone else. There's a cost. Do you understand that, Mo Ki? Can you wave your hand? Mo Ki, very good, Mo. All right, Mei Tin Za Fio. I'm sure you understand. It'd be great if you put up your yellow hand for me. Angeline Baroque. Okay, so remember, people need to feel empowered. People need to feel a sense of security. They need to feel that they're important for them to perform. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Put your hands up. Come on, hands up. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about the factors that bring human performance and technology together. I want you to take note of the goal I put at the bottom. The goal: augment, don't replace. Design work to bring in the strengths of your people. This will produce better decisions, faster speed, and improved experience. So, the people you employ should have a sense of creativity and innovation. They should be empowered to make decisions and give you their opinion about what is right and what is wrong in your company. They need to have a sense of empathy. They need to feel that you care about them. They need to be able to feel the relationship between themselves and the company, that they're not just another object. They need to feel that they have a sense of responsibility and they're an important part of the team. They need to understand how important their role is in making your team successful. And that means through collaboration with the team and being able to feel your influence when you empower them to become active in your organization. As a leader, you should constantly influence your team by constantly guiding them and following up on them. Do you understand that, Mr. Singham? Can you put your hand up, Mr. Singham? Are you there, Mr. Hermanathian Singham? Can you wave your hand to me? Great, excellent. So, what does technology do in this? You know, technology today is one of the core assets of a business. Of course, people are your first and most valuable asset. Your product and service is your second most valuable asset, and technology is your third most valuable asset that helps you drive the business and meet service and productivity standards that your customers expect. So, automation, by having customer relationship management software, by having e-commerce so people can pay online, by having an automated system where people pay for their products and the warehouse gets a label. It simply packs the products and ships them rather than going to look for who has paid for their products. All of this can be automated. You need to have IT that can give you regular updates as to your sales and profitability through sales analytics, which is available in any customer relationship management base. And you need to be able to process data and understand what your customers are buying. And you need to understand the demographics of who those customers are. You cannot go and ask every customer how old they are or where they're from. All of this can be recorded through your customer relationship management base or by your back end of your website, especially if you use Shopee or you sell products on Amazon. The back end of Shopee and Amazon will track where your customers from, their age profile, how many times they buy, how much they spend, and what their buying patterns are. So this means tying your product or services to technology, which makes it easier for your staff to run the business. So let's talk about practices that help you build commitment and skills, help you build a sense of ownership, and make people feel important. Marika feels important when her boss says, Marika, you're doing a great job, and gives Marika better responsibility. So hire for values and capability to learn. Don't hire just because somebody will accept lower wages. Because even if they accept lower wages, they're not motivated to learn and they will not be productive. Don't be afraid to share information and get them involved in the team. Because when you involve them, they feel that they're empowered and they take a sense of ownership to work harder. You need to make sure that you reward your team, not just reward yourself and your manager, because you and your manager would not have been so profitable if it wasn't for the team who worked under you. You need to develop a system that is a culture within your own company. Don't worry about cultures in other companies. You have to develop a culture that your company finds suitable to all the people that work for it and makes them love working for you. You can get a competitive advantage through your people. Why would you have a competitive advantage? Because your people are friendlier, they know more about the product, they're more committed to serving their customer, and they're more empowered to solve problems and please the customer. So you don't have to wait for your competitor to steal your customer because you're slow or you don't care. You can have a competitive advantage by having or putting your people first. So, what is the return on investment when you invest in your people? Faster onboarding and earlier productivity through clear roles. And that means you have to have clear job descriptions so they know what their job is and understand it from day one. Better retention and a fewer complaints. That means your managers are constantly there to lead by example, constantly empowering staff, training staff, and ensuring they are motivated and feel like they're an important part of the team. By making sure you have learning programs constantly for them to improve their knowledge and save the cost of having to correct something because they were not trained correctly. And you need to have what we call a recognition system. That means you need to reward the staff who are productive, the staff who are empowered and bring return. Because the more empowered your staff are, the higher they will push your customer, the more eminent their relationship with your customer is. And customers will come back because they will recognize the service they got from your team. Recognition. So let's look at talent. Let's look at talent. Okay, talent drain to talent. So we talk about the context. Let's look at a mid-sized company struggling. Its annual turnover is at 28%. So in every 100 people that hire, they employ 28 leave, do not stay with the company. So what happens? They train them. After they've trained them, they resign. So the team you have is not competently trained and your business suffers. Leadership deployed needs to be active leadership. They need to be leadership who are structured, who care and lead by example. And 12 months later, you'll find that your turnover drops significantly. Your internal knowledge and the competence of your team has increased, and your net productivity value, or NPS as we call it, and I'll explain what this means later, has gone up. Ladies and gentlemen, running your people is like orchestrating a musical orchestra. Not only do you have to care about your management and supervisors, but you have to care about their relationship with the people below them. Because at the end of the day, the people below them impact your company's productivity and performance. Let's look at the generational diversity and the way your customers have changed over the years. All right, so let's look at it. Let's look at the boomers. Okay, the boomers value loyalty, structured learning, and face-to-face feedback. So if you employ the boomer generation, they want you to continuously train them. They want you to recognize them and praise them face to face. Let's talk about Gen X. Gen X are more focused on being empowered. They want to be able to make sure that you've empowered them and given them responsibility. And they want to be able to communicate with their leader when they need help without having to go through their supervisor or, assistant manager. They want a chain where the leader is always open to listen to them. And they want work-life balance. The millennials. Well, these are the Gen X. Let's talk about Gen X and talk about the millennials. The millennials are more purpose focused. They are after rapid growth and career movement. And Gen Z are totally different. Gen Z expect authenticity. They expect for you to teach them how to use digital tools. All right. So for all these different age ranges, they vary the way they think, their ability to be flexible, their ability to learn is different. You need to leverage on the multi-generation of people you employ, and you need to make sure you're able to cater for all of them in order for you to be successful. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we talk about the different generations as such, if we talk about the different generations between the generations we put here, okay, let's talk about those because the different generations have different perceptions. We all understand what the different perceptions are. We all understand that, right? We all understand that in today's world, there's different perceptions. And what are the different generations? What are the different perceptions? Let's just talk about those. Just give me a minute, guys. I've got a question from a student. Okay, so if we talk about that, if we talk about these different generations, we're talking about generations that come and born in different sectors in different years, right? We have the baby boomer generation, and they are people born between 1946 and 1964. We have some of the most active generation. They are born between, the later years. And these are all very important to every business. But the most important one here is Gen X, because Gen X are people that were born between 1965 and 1980. So now they're in the working age or working age range. So Gen X will usually play a larger percentage of the team that you build. Let's talk about what employees want in 2026. Well, it's very simple. They want skills, they want opportunities to grow their career and earn a higher salary. They want flexibility, They want to be able to feel secure at work. They want to feel empowered and have a sense of responsibility. Now, for them to have a sense of responsibility, they must feel purpose. They must feel that they're an important part of the team that can help deliver the company's vision or mission. All employees today want transparency in their salary. You can't pay somebody a lower salary just because of their race, color, or religion, or the country they come from. More importantly, they want psychological peace of mind. They want to be able to feel comfortable and safe working for their manager, who should be able to train them, develop them, and care for them. Because if your manager doesn't care about your team, they feel insecure and they feel like there's no reason for them to be motivated. And eventually, they'll run away to your competitors. More importantly, they need to feel a connection to your company. They need to feel like they're an important part of your family that you recognize. So let's go through the 5 basic drivers when building a highly motivated team. Because remember, a highly motivated team is a team that's productive, generates more sales, generates better customer service, and generates more sales. That is the biggest purpose. Remember, a company without the right team will not generate higher sales. If you focus on money rather than people, your sales will be far lower than when you focus on your people who are motivated to drive your sales. So, number one is autonomy. You need to empower them. They need to feel a sense of ownership. Every single person, whether it's a person who washes dishes, the person who sweeps the factory floor, or the person who has the lowest paid jobs of photocopying, packing, sticking labels, and cleaning the office. There needs to be an opportunity for continuous learning from their leader, no matter what their job is. They need to feel as if their job is meaningful. Otherwise, they'll get bored, they'll go somewhere else. You need to set clear purpose so that everybody in your organization has one purpose: selling your product, understanding your product or service inside out, providing a certain level of customer service, and being able to serve their customers efficiently. More importantly, if we talk about autonomy, mastery, and purpose, you can only have purpose if the people who work for you feel a sense of belonging. And you need to listen to what they have to say on a regular basis, because feedback allows you to understand them and build a relationship. And that is critical for you to retain your workforce. The next step is the level of reward that you pay them, their ability to grow within your company, growth, having the right culture within your company by recognizing them, having leaders who support them, and being able to integrate everybody into one culture, one family. And more importantly, they need to understand how important their job is and how they impact the business. And all this comes through flexibility. You as a manager, you as an owner, your leaders and your supervisors have to be flexible. They have to be able to listen to employees from different cultures and be able to understand all the cultures so that your team comes together as one. Your people, your most valuable asset, become the brand of your company. So, how do you make your brand more credible in the eyes of your customer? It's simple. Your people, your employees are the face of your company, not your stock. Your employees are the one that enable your customer to buy your product or service. You need to align the jobs within your company so that everybody has the opportunity of career path and growth. You need to be responsive. You need to be there to care for the people who work for you so that they care for the customers that you serve. You need to build a promise to your customer that your team will always be there to serve them and that your team are empowered and know their product well enough to serve their customer. Guys, in simple terms, it's all about telling real stories. And the only way you can serve your customers correctly and not serve them through artificial intelligence and websites is to have real people there who drive the brand of your business. Because real people are what win customers, not your product. Your product is the result of your people selling it to your customers. Do you understand that? Because the reason customers come to your business is because they need your product. And the only reason they end up buying it is because of the most valuable asset you have, your people that make it possible to deliver it to them. Do we all understand this, ladies and gentlemen? Abigail? Ika? Julius? Julius, do you understand what I explained, Julius? Julius? Julius Polvera, do you understand? Can you put up your hand? Thank you, Julius. I need you to put up your hand when I talk to you, young man. I need to make sure that you're paying attention, mate. It's good to see you again, Julius. You're always here. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you, Julius. Okay. Nan Lei, do you understand what I just explained? Nan? Good girl. All right. So let's go on. All right. So the world has it, ladies and gentlemen, that 5% of employees are either watching or actively hunting for a new job. Do you know why this happens? Because their employer is not rewarding them or they don't feel empowered. Now, you might say, well, hold on, who told you this? Well, Gallup, one of the biggest polls in the world, has actually asked questions from employees over many countries around the world. And many employees are open. Why are you open to looking for a new job? Very simple. Because one day I need to advance my career. I've been here for 5 years. I don't have a pay rise. So if my employer doesn't care about helping me grow and better support my family, why should I care about them? And what's the implication of these 51% of your employees constantly looking for a new job? It means you have not been able to win them over. They don't feel a sense of security working for you. They feel that you're not rewarding them, you don't care about them, and you're not empowering them. And this all comes back to you being able to employ the right people, motivate the right people, reward the right people, and have them feel a sense of security and empowerment at work. How do you do this? You make sure that you have very effective training for all your employees. You have a very strong culture where people are important to the team. You allow people to refer their friends and recommend them to work for you. You proactively encourage your staff to learn and grow. You offer them flexible work options if it's possible. And you always elevate their presence. When they do a good job, you tell them, you praise them. You always make sure that you set meaningful key performance indicators for all your staff. Because if you don't give them targets to achieve, they feel as if they're not important. And that's when they become part of the 51%. So you need to showcase your people as part of your brand. You need to respond to your staff and listen to what they say. You need to keep your staff involved and understand what your business goals are and why you are coming out with new products, etc., etc., etc. You not only have to make the employees feel as if they're empowered, your employees have to become your brand advocates. They have to become your brand ambassadors that are the face of your company. How do you do this? Well, you must make sure that you have job descriptions that set out the clear role of every job. You must make sure they understand of how important their job is, and you must separate what they must know together with what they can learn once they've started the job. And you must keep your eyes open to make sure that once you employ them, you don't forget them, that you empower them, you make sure they are part of the culture and team, and constantly lead them by example. So, if we talk about how you recruit today, well, you can do it without technology. You can just have basically a resume on paper. You can interview everyone. You can basically look at, how they speak, what they tell you, and this will take a long time. And basically, a lot of candidates, when they apply to you and you can't provide them a job description or a clear outline of their job role, will not even accept your offer of employment. Today, with automated recruitment services, automated matching and self-scheduling software, which allows you to receive resumes, the software will screen the resume and arrange interviews with the candidate for you. You're able to actually talk to many more applicants, and basically spend more time with the applicants who meet your requirements. But remember, not all small businesses can afford this technology. If you can't afford this technology, there is cheap technology online that will do this for you. And if you want to learn about it, you can drop me a WhatsApp later and ask me, sir, can you refer me to a cheap ATS or CRM software that I can use without having to spend money? I'm very able to do that. All right, so 5 steps to launch and upgrade your employees referral engine. So what do we talk about referral engine? Your staff refer their friends to work for you. And referral engines are the most powerful and cheapest way to recruit. Establish clear and strong guidelines for your employees on how they can refer their friends. Keep very close tracking of who refers, and once they refer to someone, give feedback and thank them, saying, well, you've referred me, your friend is doing very well. They're making good progress. Recognize the person that they referred in front of them and recognize them in front of their colleagues for referring a new employee. And always track the impact of how much better it is when somebody is referred by somebody that works for you compared to hiring a stranger. If you're able to have your team refer their friends, that means your team feel that they're empowered and they care about your business. If your team won't refer their friends, it means that they don't feel empowered. They don't feel that your company is the right company for their friends to work in. And they're probably part of the 51% looking for other jobs. Do you understand that, Mr. Mimanoheng? Mr. Mimanoheng, do you understand what I said, sir? You need to participate and look at the camera. Do you understand what I've explained? Angeline, do you understand? Very good. So, you need to advertise jobs. You need to offer um, a history of your company or maybe a video of people working for your company who are happy working for you. You need to actually monitor how many people visit your website and apply for a job. And remember, you need to repurpose, okay? You need to repurpose your job advertising based on your needs and the type of jobs. Now, some people recruit during recruitment events, or some people just have recruiting events by having advertising campaigns on social media. These are all important, but every time you go out on a campaign to recruit people, make sure that the campaign is focused on people, not on money that you want to save. So if we talk about this, okay, let's talk about the real cost of turnover. If you have to constantly recruit more staff, you're losing money by having to actually spend more money paying salaries for new staff that you have to train. If your new staff do not reach productivity and feel empowered within 3 to 6 months, you will lose them. If they are not good enough within 3 months, you should not keep them. You should replace them. Because the more money you spend on them, at the end of the day, they're not suitable. You have to waste more money retraining someone else. So there's a cost when they leave. There's a cost to recruiting and hiring someone else. There's a cost to training and onboarding the new person to take over that job. And the biggest detriment to your business is the loss in productivity because you were short-staffed. You need to monitor retention. Okay? You need to monitor retention. If people are leaving you in the first 6 months, that means you have a problem. You need to monitor overall engagement with your staff, and you need to actually constantly get feedback and do performance appraisals where you hear what they're doing well at and what they're not doing well at and they need improvement in. Ladies and gentlemen, usually moves happen once a staff member feels that there's no future with your company. Measure internal mobility rate, time in role, manager span, quality for growth. So if somebody has been an assistant manager for 5 years and hasn't been promoted, well, that tells you that you haven't focused on their career advancement and they're probably about to start looking for another job. At 3 to 5 years, that should be the time when you're seriously preparing them for promotion. At 1 to 2 years, they should feel like part of the team and they should be highly productive. They should be productive in the first 12 months. So the first 30, 60, and 90 days are critical. Why are they critical? Because in the first 30 days, you have to have a buddy system that brings in the new staff member, make sure they are there by their side to guide them and answer questions. Then you have the, the 60-day period where the staff have been trained and fitting into the team, and they are constantly improving based on what they've learned. You have 90 days where you know whether they passed their probation and they're now part of your team, and you have to start looking at their continuous learning and improvement. And you have after that always. After that, you always have to consistently recognize them. You have to do regular key performance indicator or key performance review. All right, what do we mean by a key performance review? Is where you do a performance appraisal, tell them what they're doing well and what they need to improve in. All right, so remember, you can use peer-to-peer and manager recognition by recognizing people through their colleagues, recognizing the team they work in. You need to make it frequent and fair. You need to blend social recognition in front of their colleagues with meaningful rewards, whether it's a gift voucher, whether it's promotion, whether it's some sort of salary increment. And you need to make sure that all your team are engaged. They all feel as if they're part of the team. Now, should you offer them monetary rewards or should you offer them non-monetary rewards? Well, of course, monetary rewards are important to everyone because they give people a sense of security. So you need to make sure that you give them a fair and reasonable monetary salary. You need to make sure that there is an increment every year based on performance and based on the cost of living. Now, usually in most economies, the flat increment that you give everybody based on your local economy is somewhere between 3 and 5%, which you apply to everyone. And then you have performance-based bonuses, which you apply to people based on their performance evaluation. Some companies offer them stock options instead of cash. If you're a public company or a private company, you can offer shares or stock options for performance. And another monetary reward that people look for is whether you contribute to their social welfare or whether they have a retirement plan or pension plan, depending on the country laws and the country you employ them in. So non-monetary rewards can mean better career path, constant learning and recognition and empowerment. You can offer them flexible working hours. You can offer them work-life balance and make sure they feel that they have a purpose in your company, that they're important in your company. Pay fairly according to market standards, differentiate the experience to retain the top talent. Of course, if you employ a sales consultant with zero experience, his salary should be lower than a salesman working for your company with 5 years experience. Do you understand that, Maxon Knop? Thank you. Okay. You can offer them remote work if that's suitable to your company. You can offer them compressed weeks where instead of working 5 days a week, they can work 4 days a week, or instead of working 5.5 days a week, they work 5 days a week. But you can only do that in certain industries. You must have a set of company cultures and norms that everybody abides by. You should encourage work-life balance. You should encourage a sense of pride in them doing their job well and finishing the work before they go home. You can provide ergonomic chairs in your office and comfortable furniture, especially if they're going to sit at their desk all day. Okay, so to build multiple paths, to make sure you constantly train and support your people for continuous growth and have minimal turnover and higher retention, you need what we call traditional vertical ladders. And this is mean an ability for people to grow and get promoted. You need to be able to have them learn different skill cross training within your company so they know more about different parts of your business, and it opens more learning for them and more experience and makes them a better team player because they feel that they know the company, they have the knowledge and feel more empowered. And then we talk about gigs. Well, if Maxon has been a customer service clerk for 5 years, sometimes it's good to give him experience in operations and let him try. And that would be called a gig, where he learns how to do something else or manages a project as part of his job. Mentorship is where there's someone to lead them and guide them, and individual development plans, which are something that you develop for each of your team member at the beginning of each year and after every performance appraisal. What is this individual development plan? It's telling them what they're good at and what they need to improve, and setting down a training schedule for them to be trained or developed by their supervisor or leader. So, high performing teams have shared goals. They feel safe and secure. They are basically empowered. They are open to give their opinions to their leaders and management. And they understand the objectives of the business, and they're obsessed with providing customer service and productivity. All right. So, what do we mean by ensuring psychological peace of mind for the people that work for you? You have to ask them, okay? Don't assume that you know. You have to recognize them, not ignore them. You have to normalize their learning so that they understand it's okay to make a mistake. Don't fear failure because I'm going to fire you. Fear failure as your road to learning. Take failure as an advantage or an asset, not as a failure. Failing once is a benefit which makes you 100 times better the next time. So do not promote failure as a negative. Promote it as a positive learning curve. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Put your hands up, please. Jacob? Okay, good. So always assess your people on a regular basis, enable them by providing them the skills they need, let them take on new skills and new assignments in cross-functional areas. Always guide them, coach them, and reflect on their improvement. And always make sure that you scale and mentor your people. Make sure that the people with more experience are continuously developed and not forgotten. Don't just develop the young people, also develop the experienced people for more important positions. You need to define leadership expectations. Your leaders must know how important your people are to your organization. Implement the 70-20-10 learning model. Focus on 70% on the job experience, 20% by coaching and mentoring from their leader, and 10% by sending them to training lessons where they learn theory. Build coaching skills and give them feedback. Just like McDonald's, they show you how to cook a burger, they let you do it, they correct you until you do a perfect burger. Have simulations, involve them in decision making, have regular meetings with the teams so there's no ambiguity and they all feel as if you've taught them how to handle any situations that they discuss with you. All right. And last but not least, measure behavior change, not just how many sales they make. Recognize people for the number of customers they talk to, recognize them for the number of repeat customers, recognize them for playing a role in your team, whether they're the packer, the expediter, the warehouse boy, they all play a role. If your sales are up, they played a role in that. You have to engage them and recognize them. Okay, your managers should have clear priorities. There should be one-to-ones when they're with their team members on a regular basis. It could just be a daily conversation. There has to be goals set for every employee in the manager's team and for the manager, him or herself. There has to be constant recognition, feedback, and being fair to all, no favoritism. And more importantly, you have to respect their well-being by making sure they're working in a safe environment. So, what are key factors or ingredients in making sure that you empower your employees to growth and retain them? Well, you have to have transparent career opportunities within your company. You have to have the ability for your staff to apply for internal promotions before you advertise for new people. You have to give them a chance to learn new skills so that they're better suited when a promotion opportunity comes up. And you have to enable. There must be clear enablement to your managers and from the manager to the people who work for him. And you must be able and focus on investing in developing your team, motivating your team, and empowering your team for results. So, the basic rules of culture and maintaining a friendly work culture is two-way communication and always ensure that all nationalities fit into your work culture or environment. As I said, regular conversations with your staff and making sure that your leadership is open to listening to what the people are telling him. Okay, how do you determine the speed and staying power? How do you determine the speed with which you should hire more people, develop people? And how do you determine when it's time to deal with a culture breakdown? Well, it all comes back to your company. It all comes back to the team you build and your regular one-to-one sessions. You have to be aligned with the daily operations and behaviors of the team in your company. You have to constantly recognize people as they perform. Don't wait for 2 years to recognize your top salesperson because by then he would have gone somewhere else. We say praise in public in front of his team members, reprimand in private, and guide him how to improve. You must always break down cultural barriers. It doesn't matter whether the employee has to pray on Friday afternoon or the employee is someone who is a vegetarian. You have to respect the culture of all employees. You have to make it a workplace that welcomes all cultures because you employ people for their skill, not based on their nationality, race, or religion. So remember, if you want a winning culture at work, there must be clarity, clear mission, clear values, and clear standards. All your team must feel a sense of belonging, respect from one another, and ownership, empowerment. There must be a sense of learning, continuous learning, mobility, and they must be challenged to do something new and better and harder every day. You must give them frequent and meaningful recognition, and there must be a sense of feedback. So, outcomes and ethics. You must let them feel accountable. They did a good job, you must reward them. They made a mistake, you must guide them and coach them. Customer focused. They need to think outside the box on how the customer thinks to be able to make sure the customer is their first priority. But if you want them to put the customer first, you must make them your most valuable asset, your people. All right, let's talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. When treated as a business strategy, DEI refers to making sure you build your teams based on diversity, equity, inclusion of all team members, making sure they all feel a sense of belongingness and they all fit into one family. What do you get from DEI? You get better problem solving and innovation because they fit into a family and a team that work together. You have a stronger chance of retention and any of them walking away because if they walk away, you don't retain. So retention is cheaper than having to hire someone else. Increased employee engagement and better morale and better brand reputation and customer loyalty because they deal with the same face or person all the time. Remember, guys, structured hiring, structured promotion based on performance and ability is critical, regardless of where they're from or what their religion or nationality is. They are part of your team. Okay, how do you measure cultural health? Well, it's easy. You can do it by having one-to-one sessions with your employees. You can do it by having 360-degree surveys of your employees. If you want a simple 360 survey, which you can use, I have one. You can just actually let me know. We talk about customer metrics, NPS, and NPS is a way of actually measuring what the feedback or complaints from your customers are. All right, so let's talk about this. What are the key takeaways from what we've learned so far? People power is the ultimate differentiator between a successful business and a failing business. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand now why people are your most important factor? Put your hand up if you understand. Come on, guys. Please participate, engage. Thank you. All right. Remember, if you bake a chocolate cake and don't put chocolate in the chocolate cake, Medina, it's not chocolate cake, right, mate? It becomes vanilla cake. If you have a business and you don't have the people to run the business, your business is not a business. It's just a name. Do you understand this, everyone? Yes or no? Danilin? Good. Excellent. What about you, Leah? Very good. What about you, Julia? Switch off your postcard, Julia, and wave to me, Julia. I'd much prefer to see you. Very good, Julia. Okay, so remember, guys, if you if you have a family, but you never talk to your children or your wife, it's not a family. You're just individuals living in the same structure. It's the same thing. You can't bake a chocolate cake without the ingredients. You can't have a family unless you have a family culture. People are the most valuable asset in any company because they are the face of the brand. They are the culture that they put over to the customer. Friendly service, quick service, professional service. I'm empowered to make you, my customer, happy. Does everybody understand this, guys? Yes or no? Wave to me. Come on, guys. Please, I'm putting in a lot of effort to make you understand. Some of you just sit there like this. Come on, guys, talk to me. I'm a nice guy, right? Come on, put your hands up if you think Wally's a nice guy. Come on, be fair. Who thinks Wally's a nice guy? Come on, show me your yellow hands. I want to see thousands of electronic hands. Thank you very much. You see, Medina, I am a nice guy. So say all of our students. Thank you. All right, guys. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that empowering yourself means to empower your team. If you made the decision to run a company, you empowered yourself, but you alone cannot run a company. Do you understand that, everyone? Thank you, Mary Jane Kang. Does everybody understand what I just said? Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint, guys. One moment, please. Okay, just hold on. Can you see my slide, Miss Medina? Can you see my slide? Thank you, Miss Medina. Okay,
Yeah.
so remember, guys, the key takeaways today, if I've been effective, is to remind you of how important your company's most valuable asset is, your people. And I know that in your country, factories, restaurants, they tell you, my most valuable asset is my product and my factory. You're just here to do your job and get paid. Those businesses fail. Those businesses lose customers. The only way you're going to retain customers is by growth through better customer service, new product, new innovation, and by recognizing customer loyalty and recognizing the people who are the front of your business. You need to focus on empowering your team, making them part of an inclusive family that feel empowered to do whatever it's needed to serve your customers. And you need to measure on a regular basis and iterate what they do right and what they do wrong. So let's talk about how you make this work in a company. Can everybody see my slide? 30, 60, 90 days, Medina? Okay, so let's talk about this plan. If you are in a company now, or if you are trying to set up your company, how do you know whether your most valuable asset is on the right track. One, you have to make sure that you have a clear employee value proposition. You have to make sure that everybody in your team understands why they're important to you and why you think that you are important to them. You're going to train them, you're going to develop them with the hope of giving them career promotions. You have to make sure that you look at jobs on a regular basis and make sure that the people doing that job are capable and are constantly trained. And you need to launch what we call targeted stay interviews, where on a regular basis, as the business owner, you talk to all employees to see what they really have to say about the team they work for, the manager they work for. This should happen in the first 30 days. In the next 60 days or in the 60-day period, you have to be able to decide who is good enough. You need to give peer-to-peer recognition. You need to make sure they understand what they're doing well and what they're not doing. And you need to make sure that their supervisors or leaders are giving them constructive feedback. And this is part of you building and enabling the new workforce that started in the last 60 days. At 90 days, you're at the point where you need to scale and measure. You need to actually recognize those who've done well, tell everybody and praise them in public, and you have to iterate the need for the people to grow and be part of the team behind them. And that may mean that the ones that do well, you promote, the ones that are doing a little bit better, you promote, and so everybody can feel a sense of reward for their performance. This 30, 60, 90-day action plan with your most valuable asset is the biggest investment you will make in the success of your business. Remember always, people are the engine, the heartbeat of your company. Medina is the heartbeat as the co-host of my session today because she's the one that controls the Zoom rooms that you're now in. Without her, I wouldn't be here. She is the heartbeat, the same as your people are the heartbeat of your business. Your people can only be resilient is if you encourage learning, development, and you empower them to make decisions without fear of retribution. What do I mean by that? So I don't say, Abigail, if you cannot wash the dishes properly, I'll fire you. I won't pay you because I need to get someone else to wash the dishes. Abigail will simply say, okay, you didn't train me. Keep your dishes. I'll go somewhere else. You only pay me $2 an hour, yet you don't train me. How can I wash the dishes? Do you understand what I'm saying, Abigail? So the only way you develop innovation, creativity, and resilience in your people is by making sure you teach them, you let them show you, you correct them, and you constantly motivate them. And you have to let them understand it's okay to make mistakes, provided you learn from that mistake and don't repeat it. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? It is driving business through the people who run your business. Remember, guys, Steve Jobs took Apple to where it is today through the people who run Apple. Ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for Steve Jobs, Apple would not exist today. All right? That's the reality. How many of you use iPhone? Put your hands up if you use an iPhone. Come on, hands up. There must be, I've got 500, 400 and something students here today. How many of you use iPhones? Come on, show Medina. How many have iPhones? Show up your yellow hands. Come on. Good stuff. Why do you use iPhone? Because of the technology and innovation that has you brainwashed that iPhone is a better phone. I agree. iPhone is a better phone. It is secure, it has better technology through camera, and it can do a lot more than what your Android can do. Thank you, Jenny. Noted. Okay. All right. Make sure you follow the lesson to the end, Jenny. Let me talk about innovation. Let's talk about Apple. Apple was the first that gave you a virtual assistant called Sri. Apple came up with this AI you could talk to on your iPhone and ask questions, and Sri answered you. It was artificial machine learning, but by now, Sri is an expert. She's been around for 20 years. What happened? 2 years later, Samsung came up with their own copy of Sri. Is Apple a market leader as far as a smartphone is concerned? Yes. Is Samsung trying to catch up? Hell yeah. Every time Apple come out with a better camera, Samsung follows suit. Let me tell you, Apple are already developing the iPhone 22. You're only up to 17 now. Guys, they already are working on the technology in iPhone 22. But are they going to tell you about that? No, because their competitors will catch up. And if they wait till iPhone 21 to develop iPhone 22, by the time they bring out their technology, it'll be too late. Their competitors would have got there first. And that's why these companies are 5 years ahead of their competitors as far as research and development. Do you understand that? Yes or no? As a manager, as a business owner, you have to be 3 years ahead of the people who work for you as far as motivating them, developing them, and leading them by example. Is it right to pay your staff minimum wages? No. You should always pay your staff a step more than the minimum. Look at what the average salary is in your industry for a waitress. If it's $3.50, you pay them $3.75. Why? Because what you're doing is giving them a sense of motivation by saying you're not the lowest paid waitress in town like all the other restaurants in town. Yes, it might eat away an extra 25 cents an hour, but the benefits it's going to give you are probably $30 of sales more an hour because that waitress is passionate and loves her job. She feels a sense of security. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, show me your hands, guys, please. Please. Great. Has everybody enjoyed BizTalk? I believe today is 146. Am I right, Medina? This is BizTalk 146, I believe. Okay. Has everybody enjoyed BizTalk? Come on, guys, show me your hands. How many have you enjoyed BizTalk? Great. Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you all at BizTalk 147. And BizTalk 147 is going to be totally different. BizTalk 147, I am going to make the most enjoyable BizTalk you've ever seen. And BizTalk 147 is going to involve you in a toolbox that gets you to try to solve problems that a business has. And I'm going to show you 90 problems that businesses face on an average day. And during that BizTalk, you're going to tell me how you would solve them. And I am going to give you the correct way to solve them. I call it my toolbox to making you better equipped to solve problems. I call it Wally's Toolbox. All right. But of course, it will be a toolbox that is used by the most powerful companies in the world. Do you understand this, guys? So the next BizTalk, I believe it will be BizTalk 147. Is that right, Medina? What BizTalk number will it be, Medina?
It will be 48. 148.
148. So today is 147. Is that right, my dear co-host?
Yeah.
All right, guys, I forgot I delivered 146 a week or two ago. So today is BizTalk 147. So when we go to BizTalk 148, BizTalk 148 will become what I call every business owner's toolbox. And we will look at some 90 common roadblocks that I will teach you how to solve. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Do not miss BizTalk 148. BizTalk 146, guys, I remember very clearly, was operational management in business today. I taught that. How many of you attended 146? I think all of you were here, right? Great. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about BizTalk 147? No? Come on. Abigail? Come on, Miss Abigail. You always talk to me and ask a question. Abigail, open your microphone. Let me have a question, Abigail. Go ahead, Abigail. Hi, Abigail. How are you today?
Good, I'm doing good.
Have you
So,
enjoyed BizTalk today? Have you learned anything about the importance of people as a company's most valuable asset?
yes, I do, because nowadays, people actually a lot of the business, especially in virtual world,
Very
study.
good. Excellent. Do you think that people play an important role in running a business, Abigail?
I do, especially now. I
Thank you. Thank you. I want to leave you all with a saying as an academic. Don't ever think that humans will be replaced in every job. Humans will find artificial intelligence doing some of the rhetorical jobs. But trust me, as long as there's customers, you will always need human beings in customer service. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no?
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Abigail. I'll see you at BizTalk 148. God bless you.
thank you.
Who else would like to talk to Wally? Where is Flora Delisa? Are you here today, Flora Delisa? Your name is popping up as a regular student. Can you unmute your microphone, Flora Delisa? Go ahead. Hello, Flora Delisa. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Have you enjoyed today's session? Have you learned anything?
Yes,
And do you think that people power is important in an organization?
yes, definitely.
Can I ask you, do you prefer to run a business on your own or work in a team that drives business success?
Definitely work in a team.
Thank you, Flor Delisa. I look forward to seeing you at the next BizTalk 148.
Yes.
Guys, before I go today, I want to share with you, and Miss Medina will put the actual Zoom links here, that on next week, we're having what we call our remote entrepreneurship program, and there'll be an information session about REP on, I believe, April the 21st. Is that correct, Medina? Yeah. And this remote entrepreneurship program will enable you to actually earn money whilst you're studying with us. Everybody here is invited to join REP information session, and Medina will put the Zoom links and the date in your chat boxes now. Can you do that, Medina? Okay, so REP information session will be conducted on April the 21st, Tuesday, and April 21st April Tuesday and 23rd April Thursday. And I want to see you all there because I know all of you work hard to pay for your lessons. Some of you are still attending because you're still trying to get a better job and make more money. Our remote entrepreneurship program will give you opportunities to network with other people. It will give you access to business sessions with business leaders, and it will show you a path to earn extra income. All you have to do is attend the orientation session a very brief information session that will teach you and tell you what the program is, how it works, and how soon you can be part of that program. You want to make money? You want to get a better future? REP is the program. These orientation sessions on the 21st and 23rd will tell you all about the program and how it will work. It will definitely allow you to earn extra income. Does everybody understand this? Yes or no? Put your hands up. Let's go. How many of you here want to be rich? Put your hand up. How many of you want to be rich? Very good. Medina wants to be rich. I want to be rich, but I don't know. They tell me I'm already rich. I don't know. I'd love to be richer. I know Medina wants to be rich because she has a little baby son that wants a Lamborghini when he's 18. So she has to work damn hard to pay for the red Lamborghini. My 9-year-old daughter tells me she wants to be a heart surgeon. I have to send her to medical school, so I have to keep working for another 15 years. All right, we all have dreams, right? We all have aspirations. I want all of you to open your mouths and repeat after me. Everybody now, show me your lips. I believe in myself. Everyone, come on, show me your moving lips. Everyone, I believe in myself. I can. I will be successful. Everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my privilege to deliver BizTalk 147. I am so proud to have you as students. Please tell your friends to join us. Anybody that has been our student or is our student now, invite them to join us for BizTalk 148. Also, make sure you and any of our students join us for our remote entrepreneurship program session, information session on the 21st Tuesday or the 23rd Thursday. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Everybody wave your hands to Miss Medina. Come on, everybody say thank you, Miss Medina, for allowing us to be here today. Thank you so much. From me to all of you, I love you all. God bless you all. And remember, your success is in your hands. People do not plan to fail. People fail to learn how to be successful. Miss Medina, can you put the link for today's lesson in both groups, please? Miss Medina, one moment, please, guys. Guys, when you receive your certificate to this lesson, you will receive a copy of the material in PDF also. However, for you to receive your certificate, you must have had your camera switched on or otherwise actually sent me a message saying that you're at work. Providing you explain that you're at work, you will receive your certificate. If you switched off your camera, did not send any message, and did not participate, you will not receive a certificate most likely. All right, we just need to share the lesson material in the other computer. My co-host is doing it now. It's my pleasure, Jenny Rose. That's what my passion is, Jenny Rose. I live to educate. I have been an educator for years, and I get job satisfaction when people learn. Thank you so much for being here, Jenny Rose. Okay, we have shared the link to today's lesson in both. Thank you, Annabelle, for your listening, and I recognize that you've been here. And yes, Annabelle, you will get a certificate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Remember, your future is in your hands. If you dream but do nothing to start your success, that means your dreams are being flushed like water down the toilet. You can do it. People don't plan to fail. People fail to learn how to be successful. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. Good night. I love you all. Thank you, everyone. See you at BizTalk 148. See you at our remote entrepreneurship session on Tuesday, the 21st of April. Good night. Thank you, Miss Medina. Thank you for being here for me tonight. Thank you for having this session. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. Good luck.